Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly list update. No more heavy topics, no more voids. It's going to be all vibes from here on out. I'll be running through 10 albums I've been listening to over the last week, and what's going to start us out on this pure vibes, no heavy topics run of albums? Sundial by No Name. Fuck it all to hell. Why the fuck am I even here? I waited for the controversy to die down before getting anywhere near this most recent No Name album, and to get said controversy out of the way, No Name's performance on Balloons feels incredibly weak, and Jay Electronica continues to be a mouthpiece for anti-Semitism masked in pro-black language, and I guess is a Ukraine war truther now? The rest of the project is hit or miss. It's got a few solid moments, but it's the first No Name album I'm probably not going to be revisiting anytime soon. Corpse Princess by Stella Dolce. The return of friend of the show Stella Dolce, whose Empress of Allure album I think showed a lot of promise. So much promise that I put her on my own album. Stream Insomniac's Freestyle with your sleep paralysis demon. This Halloween-themed banger of the future sees much of that potential reaching a peak, from improved production to great vocal performances. Even if I didn't have a song out with her, I would still be telling y'all to check this project out. One of my favorite independent releases this year, and a bop no matter what the season is. Be sure to drop her a follow below, or here, somewhere. Selected Ambient Works, 85 through 92 by Aphex Twin. Another classic I'm finally getting around to listening to, and I'm really liking this whole IDM thing. I do have a fondness for bleeps and bloops, and this has those and more for an album that doesn't feel anywhere near as long as it actually is. If any fellow nerds out there play Elite Dangerous or No Man's Sky, two amazingly geektastic games, this album is a perfect soundtrack for that. Certified Depressant by Taylor Acorn. This album was actually recommended to me by a real-life friend of mine. That's right, I have actual friends. This was a really nostalgic trip for me because this entire album sounds like a late 2000s pop rock project, and I loved that shit when I was a kid, and I still have a soft spot for it to this day. This album is very much that, and if it fits your music niche like it does mine, then you'll really enjoy this project. Everything Will Be Alright in the End by Weezer. What do you do when you're listening to a bunch of albums you don't know what quite to listen to yet? Weezer. I believe this is now my 6th album of theirs that I've heard, and I get it now. I finally get it. I think I finally get Weezer because this album is terrific. The riffs and choruses were catchy. Every song felt like it had a grand theme without getting too far in its own ass. And the instrumental songs at the end is the stuff of legends. I'm sorry, Pinkerton fans, but I am now Team Iwabatiye now. Weezer, the Red Album. Okay, so I may have spoken a little too soon. This is my new favorite Weezer album, I guess? I wasn't actually expecting to like this as much as I did, but this album is just a great time. I really can't convey how much I unironically enjoyed every song on this album, no matter how corny it got, and it definitely got corny. I've never seen another Weezer fan say Red is their favorite, so am I just doing something wrong here? Off the Wall by Michael Jackson. More classics I have been getting around to listening to. This classic album from Michael Jackson, Off the Wall. Honestly, anyone looking at getting into Michael should start here. Sure, Thriller has all the songs that people know basically from birth, but Off the Wall is a more consistent and solid album between the two, while still boasting some undeniable hits of its own. La High by Sampha. I wasn't sure what to expect from Sampha, who I've been meaning to check out for years since their legendary contribution to St. Pablo on The Life of Pablo, and more recently on Kendrick's Father Time and Travis Scott's My Eyes. This was an odd listen at the start, but it becomes more and more absorbing throughout its 40-minute runtime. Total vibes, you'd be an absolute fool to miss out on this shit. Without Warning by Metro Boomin, Offset, and 21 Savage. I've been noticing a lot of hip hop critics on TikTok showing a lot of praise for this album's strength and its brevity, which is music to my ears after all of these 90-minute albums that have been coming out lately. Of course, I knew Ric Flair Drip from when it was being played everywhere at the time, but the rest of the project is still alright. I think 21 Savage still had some growing to do as an artist, and it especially shows in his solo tracks on here, but this is still an enjoyable listen, especially Offset's and Metro Boomin's contributions. I don't know if I'd call it a classic like I've seen many say, but it is a great sampling of late 2010s trap. Zach Bryan by Zach Bryan. So I've been making very small steps into the world of country, but most of what I've heard can be more categorized as folk than country. This album is absolutely a country album, and a great one of that. It's the first country album that really held my attention with its contrasting rockers and ballads with memorable melodies and lyrics throughout its runtime. If you are also looking at taking baby steps into the world of country, you cannot do wrong with this project. And that is all for this week. Let me know your favorite songs from these projects in the comments, and I will see y'all for the next review. Pieces.